Hello everyone. Long time. But, you know, things happen. Those of you that are still here, still subscribed, thank you very much. Those of you who are new, hello. I will probably get around to offending you at some point or another. But I promise to explicitly say why I'm doing it. Not in that vein, tonight's video is a serious one that has to do with tomorrow, the election, November 4th. There is, and please forgive me if I'm a little bit off my game here, recording videos. Haven't done it in a while. But tomorrow is what is termed an off year, even though it is an election for 1/3 of the Senate, the entire House of Representatives, a great many state and local judges, city councils, all sorts of things going on. For an off year, it's a very busy year. And it promises to make the gridlock that has been in place since the 2010 election look like a loving kiss, a set of loving kisses exchanged passionately atop the Eiffel Tower. And that's even if there is if the Republicans control the Senate, that will just make it worse. Because they won't have a filibuster-proof majority, and you can bet that even more rules will be tossed out. It's going to be an exciting time. But I'd like to set forth, ever since Russell Brand's impassioned, voting is a waste of time, yada, yada, yada. And the elder statesman of punk coming back and saying, you're a fucking idiot. I've tried not to say something too vehement about the idea of not voting. So here's my try at not being vehement. One, we live in a political world. And by that I mean the science of allocating power and resources within a group of people or a society. Where you have humans communicating, you have politics. In a modern society where so much depends upon people whose existence we will never even know about, you definitely have politics. From the moment of your conception, the society you lived in has controlled a great deal of what your mother and father could and could not do, far more often the mother. From the time of your birth, everything about what could and could not happen to and around you, and what you could and could not do, has been decided in the political arena. Far more than we're aware of, because we rarely become aware of those possibilities that exist in our lives that we are never told about or exposed to or get around to imagining or having someone else tell us about. But that's it. It is impossible to overstate what a dramatic role the negotiations that go on about what people around you can and cannot do and must not do have in your life. That being said, it is impossible for you to do all the things that you should do if you were capable of exerting as strong an effect on politics as politics exerts on you. There's just no way a human being can do it. That being said, you should at least do something. Because, as the old political saying goes, you are either at the table or you are on the menu. And another way of thinking of it is, politics is that great art which determines who should be thrown under the bus, or who can safely be thrown under the bus. If you are not voting, the answer is you. Now here's why. This is something that really this is one of the things I've struggled with to try and understand about the political process, is why don't politicians pay attention to those people who don't vote? Well, it's because so much energy, so much money, so much, for lack of a better term, propaganda, although we would call it infotainment, goes into the uselessness or usefulness of the political process depending upon what media you consume. It is pretty much irrelevant what a given politician says about whether or not you should vote, especially if you're not someone like Mitt Romney, who I think really with his 47% remark propelled a tremendous get out the vote effort. Tremendous. But once you get into the position of campaigning, what your job is to motivate your base, motivate the people who you know by what primaries they voted in, by what they write, by what Facebook groups they belong to, by what newsletters they subscribe to. Generally, the people whose political persuasion somewhat matches your own. That's your job as a candidate. That is not an artifact of the democracy we learned in our civics classes, for those of you who came out of high school when civics was still a thing. I understand in a lot of schools it isn't anymore, which is depressing. But if that is the case, then withholding your vote is ultimately telling a politician, who will never hear it because you can't hear a lack of a sound. And if you write a letter saying, I'm not going to vote for you, but I never voted for you, then you're not really taking anything away from them. Essentially what you're doing is telling them, this is someone else I don't have to worry about. Unfortunate, but true. But if you're someone who votes consistently in every election, on year, off year, primary, whatever, and you say, I am voting for your primary opponent because you said you do this and you did this, or because your position on civil liberty sucks ass, or because you threw Senator XYZ or public person XYZ under the bus, and they were in a position that you supported 5 years ago, or whatever. If you pay that much attention, and you can demonstrate in a letter that you pay that much attention, then your opinion will still only count a small amount because you're only one person. But it will be heard a little bit more, and it's very interesting. Ever since I started voting in local elections, I have had politicians knock on my door, local politicians, but it is interesting to have candidates want to talk to you because you've demonstrated that you are well past the low bar of participating in the general elections, and therefore are someone who other people might possibly listen to as someone who participates in the political process. They take that shit importantly. They take that shit as important. Pardon me, like I said, I'm off my game. But if all you do is show up for the general, that's like it's like the sports fan who shows up and watches if their team gets into the playoffs or is playing in the Super Bowl or the World Series or Stanley Cup or what have you, but is never, ever, ever there, never, ever pays attention. You are the kind of person who, yeah, they're going to send out a flyer the same flyer they send everybody, but they are not going to give you any special attention, and they can only give you a tiny, tiny shred of attention, as it were. But if you want any power at all, that's how to get it. If you are not planning on going directly into politics or lobbying, or you have a few $1 billion to throw into elections. But there is another way to have your voice count. That is to go find a small island somewhere, possibly in the South Pacific, although that area is pretty much mined out with all of the conflicts over the South China Sea, and all of the conflicts, well, I wouldn't exactly say conflicts, but all of the intense negotiations around Indonesia and Australia and New Zealand and all that. But you get yourself an island there, you get yourself a small cache of weapons, and you go there, and your voice will count for everything on that island until some corporation or national government or group of angry people with more guns than you have decide they want that island and take it from you, whether through some process of looking up a claim that's older than yours, forging a claim that's older than yours, or simply by main force. You know, that won't work out very well for you, but you knew that. The point is, in this system, which gives you a tiny bit of power, it does give you some security. You do not have to fight to cast your vote yet. Though the Republicans are doing their best, well, the state-level Republicans are doing their best to make it more difficult for a lot of people to vote. So think about that too. Use it or lose it. And I'm going to include, in case you think it's limited to legislatures and dog catchers, and mayors and presidents and things like that, most of the state judges are also elected at the appellate level, and sometimes even at lower levels. I've got a link below about this that I just found. And it's really scary and depressing reading. Elections, as they become in the media more the subject of showmanship and horse race narratives and general bullshit, are becoming scarily more and more important as, after Citizens United, more and more money is dumped into them and more is taken away from us. So please read the link, think about voting. Think about voting in more than just your local elections. Do what you can, look into absentee voting. Think of this as a project that goes very much beyond what you do at the voting booth and goes in with whether or not you communicate with the politicians you do or do not vote for. So this video is a bit longer than I intended. I apologize. Please consider it as a measure of the passion with which I hold the subject in. And forgive the sloppy phrasing. And thank you for your time and attention. Please vote.